sometimes you can spend hours and hours and hours analysing a fight. You can spend hours and hours and hours looking at tape of the two fighters, and you can come up with what you believe is a rational prediction, analysis, however you want to phrase it, of what's going to happen. But then boxing as a way of reminding you that anything can happen in this sport. I mean, I guess fundamentally we're dealing with extremely big punches hitting each other on the chin, and as a result anything can happen. I think it's safe to say that I couldn't have got this prediction any more wrong. I obviously predicted Rocky Fielding to win the fight and said that if Callum Smith was going to win, it'd be via points. I thought that Callum's power was overrated based on the fact that he went the distance with Christopher Brasset and Nikolai Sezloka. Anyway, what's actually happened is, as you all know by the time you're watching this, is Callum Smith's won the fight by first round knockout. He's dropped Rocky Fielding 3 times in the first round, and on the final occasion the referee has stood up and waved the fight off. So let's break it down. First things first, the guys come out and they're exchanging jabs. Kind of how I expected the fight to go. I expected it to be more sort of technical chess match as opposed to an overly brutal war, if you like. So both guys come out. Now I think Rocky Fielding lands quite a nice jab early on. You see, an accurate jab from Fielding catching Callum Smith. Pretty soon after, Callum Smith returns fire with a big jab that snaps Rocky Fielding's head back. And yeah, both guys looking like they have the potential to hurt each other, but from a sort of boxing standpoint, if you like. And then what Callum does, really nice actually what he does here, is they're exchanging jabs, and Rocky's obviously anticipating Callum for another jab, and Callum just leads with a straight right, and he catches Rocky hard. And that kind of basically is the beginning of the end. I mean, Rocky, for me, is a bit taken aback by that punch. He wasn't expecting it. It's caught him clean. Callum Smith's able to land with another right and then pretty much just tap Rocky over with a hook. So, yeah, I mean, Rocky Fielding is on the floor, in the first minute of the fight? Maybe even in the first 30 seconds, looking back on it. Anyway, so Rocky gets up, Callum goes about him, looking to get him out of there, looking to finish. He's trying to overwhelm him, and for 1 second I thought there may be scope that Callum had piled in too hard on Rocky, because Rocky was staying up against the ropes. He was trying to keep himself in the fight, and then Rocky started to come back. I mean, you've got Rocky with his back to the ropes, and there's an occasion where he times Callum Smith quite nice, and I think Rocky actually leads with a right hand as well and catches Callum Smith, and then throws a little uppercut in the inside and pushes Callum back, and then comes out swinging. And I was thinking, bloody hell, either one of these guys could get stopped here. But what is most impressive about Callum Smith is Rocky's now pushing the pace. Rocky's bringing it. And Callum Smith, who is under fire at this point, is able to sort of catch Rocky Fielding as Rocky's coming in with a little short hook. And it kind of catches him on the top of the head, one of those punches that can affect your equilibrium, and drops Rocky Fielding quite hard, almost against momentum. I mean, not against the momentum of the fight. Obviously, Callum Smith's well up in the fight, but it's against the momentum of the last 10 seconds, if you like, where Rocky's really been pushing forward. And I have to give a lot of credit to Callum Smith for that, because for me, one of the hallmarks of a top-class boxer is how do you react when you're under fire? How do you react when the shots are coming your way and there's punches flying past you? And Callum Smith was cool, he was calm, he was collected. He timed the punch to perfection, and he caught Rocky Fielding, really quite nicely there. So credit to Callum Smith on that front. Rocky gets up again. He showed great heart. This time he's got up twice. They're both fairly heavy knockdowns. But on this occasion, Callum swarms all over him again. He's kind of throwing punches all over Rocky to Rocky's body, and Rocky just kind of sinks to the canvas, and the ref waves it off. Look, Rocky could have got up. There wasn't like a sort of singular knockout punch from Callum Smith. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think anyone can have any complaints about the stoppage. Rocky got dropped 3 times in the space of 1 round. You know, and the first 2 knockdowns were pretty heavy knockdowns. The second one in particular. Credit to Rocky Fielding for getting up. Credit for him for fighting on. He actually showed a decent chin to take those punches and you know, to continue in the match. And he showed great heart to come back in. You know, he gave himself a chance in this fight. That's what I would say. I don't think this was either guy's game plan. I really don't. I think Callum Smith was probably intending to box. I think Rocky Fielding was probably intending to box. And then when Callum created that opening with the lead right hand, yeah, everything changed. Rocky obviously had to abandon his game plan because he was on the floor and under heavy siege, and Callum looked to take Rocky out. So it became a sort of, you know, 2.5 minute firefight, and it was pretty enthralling stuff when it lasted. It just didn't last very, very long. This was a very good performance from Callum Smith, very good. And to be honest, maybe it's one of those things where an occasion like this, where he's top of the bill and, you know, attracting a lot of attention, is going to bring out the best of him. Because I didn't see the ruthlessness, the power. I didn't see that in his last couple of performances. You know, the way he treated Rocky Fielding tonight was not something that's been present in his fights as he stepped up in calibre. I mean, look at his fight against Suzlocka, you know, that was slow, boring work, you know, where Callum was really just sort of content to outbox the guy, but he showed a real ruthless streak tonight, and that was really, really quite impressive. And Callum Smith clearly does hit very, very hard. I mean, Rocky Fielding's a big guy at super middleweight. I'm not even aware of him being dropped before, and Callum Smith's pretty much dismantled him inside 1 round. So I was obviously wrong with my concerns over Smith's punching power. I'll admit that, and you know, much credit to Callum Smith, much credit to everyone who picked Callum Smith here. Rocky Fielding can come again. He definitely can. Whether he'll go on to be a world level fighter, it looks doubtful at this stage, but for me, Rocky Fielding can certainly win a British title. I know he's already been a Commonwealth champion. You know, he can certainly operate at that level. Some of the form he's shown in the lead up to this fight was very, very impressive. It may just be that this was too big a stage too soon in his career. Callum Smith, you know, Eddie Hearn was saying afterwards, talking about a fight with Badu Jack, talking about a fight with George Groves. Personally, I'd still like to see Callum Smith having 1 or 2 more fights in the interim. Callum's pretty young in his career, not just his age, also the amount of fights he's had. And even though tonight was a very, very impressive performance, you only ever learn so much from a first round knockdown, you know, a first round knockout. It's a great performance, but it's not something that's going to necessarily give him a lot of experience and, you know, help him learn his craft. I mean, as for Callum, if you wanted to be hypercritical, you could say that he maybe rushed in a bit when he got Rocky hurt. He left himself open. He took 1 or 2 silly punches. Yeah, and you could say that maybe he could have been more patient. I mean, he did exactly the right thing because he was able to get the knockout, so fair play to him. But he did open himself up to risk there. And Rocky Fielding's a big puncher. Rocky Fielding's a good boxer, but I still have concerns about someone like George Groves at this stage. I just think, you know, there's scope for Callum to have 1 or 2 fights in the interim. Look, these are my initial thoughts. Obviously, you can only talk about it for a limit. I've been talking now for 9 minutes. The fight only lasted 2 minutes. So, you know, there's only so much analysis you can provide from a 2-minute fight. But, yeah, credit to Callum Smith. He's made a believer of me, certainly. I'll very much look forward to seeing him fight again. His jab was on point. His timing was on point. His power was on point. You know, a real good performance. I'm keen to see where he goes. Let me know your thoughts on this fight. I'm sure I'll cover it again in more detail in the oncoming days, but I wanted to get some initial thoughts down. Thanks for watching.